Excuse me, Paisley. Is it really true that you and Ian went on a trip to that super expensive resort? How dare you go there without his wife? You're a jerk. What? Belle? So this is what they call the mother-in-law always bullying their son's wife. Leaving me home all alone while you take your son out to have some fun? You're the worst mother-in-law ever, Paisley.
Now, hold on just a moment. Please calm down. That was the present I received from Ian. I don't think he meant to leave you out of our trip like that.
Huh? For Mother's Day or something?
Last year, all he got me was a bouquet, which I was still very much happy about. But this year, he wanted to do something more for me. After all, this year I'm turning 60, and so he told me this was both my Mother's Day present and my birthday present combined into one.
The worst! Forcing your son to pay for such an expensive present? Are you not embarrassed to be doing that to your own child at your age?
What?
I know that you didn't like the bouquet that he got you last year, and that's why you forced him to do this for you this year. Well, I'm in the same boat as you, only managing a bouquet from him last year as well. But I never forced Ian to have to pay for me to go to some expensive trip this year. Paisley, you really are the most greedy person I've ever known.
Wait a second, Belle. I did not force my son to give me any of that as a present, okay? He told me that he wanted to treat me to something nice this year, and that's why he spent the extra money on me.
Huh? And if you were a normal parent, you would have turned down such an expensive present. But instead you acted like an idiot, letting him do all of that for you.
Are you serious?
Ian is married to me now, and that means if he wants to pay for you to go on a trip like that, to such a fancy resort, he should be taking me along as well. Why didn't you bring anything up with him when you noticed I wasn't coming along with you guys? The fact that you only care about yourself having all the fun shows me you're a worthless mother-in-law.
A worthless mother-in-law? This was all my son's plan, and I had nothing to do with what he chose. And from what I've seen, I can tell that Ian already treats you with special care and attention, Belle. Just a little while ago, you had your birthday, right? And during that time, he took you out somewhere really fun, right?
Huh? He didn't take me anywhere at all for my birthday.
What? Is that right?
No matter how many times I asked him, he never took me anywhere like an expensive resort. Yet when it comes to you, he's totally fine doing that. It's all because of you I didn't get to go anywhere. He had to focus on saving money for you, that he totally forgot to care about my birthday. I don't care that he's running his own company now. You do not get to take advantage of his money like that. All you are is a parasite, trying to latch onto his skin.
A parasite?
Just let go of him already and go off to die somewhere by yourself. He's married to me now, and no longer your item to use. That also means that all of his money is now mine. You're not allowed to put even a single finger on our money now.
Hey now, I have not been trying to get to any of his money. All I did was let my son take me out on a special treat.
Shut up! I will not let you use your son like a convenient little ATM anymore, you old hag.
Excuse me?
Normally, after your son got married to me, the right thing to do would be to make some distance between you and us. Yet, instead, you've just been hanging around Ian all the time, acting like you can stay close as a part of our family. And now you've gone and left me out and run off with him? Stop stealing Ian and his money from me.
Ian, thank you so much for taking me to that wonderful resort as my birthday and Mother's Day present. But from now on, you don't have to put that much time and effort into me. From now on, I'd like you to focus on your wife more and take her out to places she really wants to go.
What? Take Belle, you mean?
It seems that recently the two of you haven't been going out much. I am happy that you're willing to make time to be with me and all, but I'd like you to spend time with your wife first, please.
Does this mean that Bill came and talked to you about something involving me?
Just a little. She seems to be getting pretty upset with how you seem to care more about me than her. I know very well that you care for me and want to show how much you appreciate me, but you should be doing the same thing for her as well. Next time, please take her on vacation.
If I could, I would love to take her out somewhere for a little while. But Bill is always so selfish when it comes to those sorts of things. And that's led to me no longer wanting to take her out anywhere.
What? What do you mean she's acting so selfish?
When it comes to Bill, she's not recently, but since we got married, it has been a bit odd. Every time I've tried to plan something out with her for a vacation, she becomes a real pain in my butt. All she talks about now is how she's the wife of a CEO. And that if we're going to go somewhere, it has to be where CEOs go with their wife.
What?
If the hotel or resort I choose for us isn't worth over $1,000 per night, she doesn't want to go. And when it comes to flights, if we're not in first class, we can't go. And if it's a cruise, we have to be in the suite rooms with unlimited food and alcohol involved.
So she really wants to have the most fancy of vacations with you.
Before, she was just happy to get flowers for me. But now that we're married, she tells me that flowers are useless because it's a pain to place them in a vase before tossing them. If that's the way she's going to act towards my gifts to her, then I'm not buying her any more presents.
I feel for you. It's not about the price of the gift, but the feelings that have been put into it.
I'm also the one making all the money in the household, and I already give her $5,000 a month to pay for groceries and things she wants to buy. Yet she doesn't see it that way and will ask me for another $2,000 every month so that she can go to the outlets. However, she's still getting on me about giving her such expensive presents, and it's just getting really tiring for me, Mom.
So that's how far things have gone.
And now I'm having to hear that she's upset about the present I gave to you? I'm really sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to get you involved in our private drama. I'm going to have a talk with her later about this.
I would like for you to do that, please. Just be careful not to get things too heated up, okay? You guys have a wedding finally coming up at the end of this month, so you both should be in love with each other when that time comes.
Do you think that Bill is having some trouble dealing with the reality of being married now? And that's why she's wanting to spend so much money and do things her way?
I hope that once the wedding is out of the way, she'll be able to finally calm down a bit. Now, good luck when you talk with her.
Thank you very much for attending my wedding today.
And thank you for inviting me to such a beautiful and emotional wedding. I wish for your marriage with Ian to be filled with love and laughter.
Thank you. And that is our plan. And in order for us to have love and laughter in our marriage, we're going to be cutting ties with you.
What? What did you just say?
As long as you're still around, he won't be able to stay happy. To be frank, you're in his way. Hence, why from now on, you are no longer able to talk or be around us. I don't even want to think about you texting with him anymore either.
Excuse me? But I don't think that I'm getting in the way of anything. Why would you even say something like that about me?
I have always been a bit worried about this. Ian is always thinking and caring about you more than anyone else. It's at the level where he's too attached to you that it disgusts me. That's why I'm taking the both of us away from you. That's my only option now.
No way.
I understand why he's so attached to you in that way that would disgust me. And that's because his father died a while back in that very sad accident. But if I don't step in right now to end things between you two, he's going to be used as your ATM forever. So this is the only choice I have left in order to save him.
I have never thought of my son as an ATM. I understand that my son is always thinking about me and at times will spend lots of money on gifts for me, but I've never asked him to do any of that for me.
Stop lying to me. Especially when I've seen him taking you on all sorts of really nice trips. He never takes me anywhere anymore, okay? So why the hell is he doing that for you? Something has to be going on there. I know for a fact that you've been forcing him into taking you to all of those fancy places.
Come on, Belle.
And I'm guessing that next you will be trying to use me as your slave or something. Well, I don't want to be treated that way by anyone.
What?
A little while ago, you tried to force me into caring for your needs, right? You're thinking that since you've already had your son giving you all of his money, the next thing you need is his wife. I'm not going to allow you to do that with me.
I have never once thought about making you my slave. Belle, could you please take a moment to settle down?
Shut your mouth! You're already taking full advantage of your son now, living the life of a freaking parasite. I will not trust anything that comes out of an old hag's mouth like yours.
I very much understand that you do not like me, Belle, but calling me a parasite and then coming to me about how you're going to cut ties to me now, I can't believe things between you and I have really come to this.
And I know that the whole time you had been spoiled by both your husband and your son. But I will not be doing the same things they did. This is the end of your fancy life of abusing your son's money for yourself. I will not allow him to ever take you anywhere or give you anything as a present again.
Belle.
I am not letting you get away with that toxic behavior just because your son is a CEO. Your son is now mine to use, which means all of his money that he can use on all of those expensive trips are mine. It's freaking absurd watching a woman like you get her way with her son just because he's a CEO. And that means I'm never going to even bother with you anymore. You're a parasitic old hag.
You have no clue who my mom is then, do you?
What?
Calling another person's mom a parasite? You have no right being such a bitch to her.
What? Huh? Is that you, Ian?
I forgot something at the wedding venue, and so I came back to get it before running into my mom here. That's when she asked me what all of this was about. You telling her that you and I will be cutting ties to her and everything?
Open your eyes, Ian. I'm telling you outright right now that you are overly attached to your mother. You never even bother to take me out of the house anymore. Yet you're always going places with her. Can't you see that all she's doing is using you as an ATM? And you're not doing anything to fight back.
You're the one who needs to open their eyes, Bill. Do you have any clue who you're trying to cut ties to right now? My mom is the founder of the company I run. She holds over half the stock that the company has and still helps make decisions for what happens with the company's future.
What? You're saying that Paisley is a shareholder for your company?
The reason I'm able to run such a stable and successful company is because of her. And back in the day, when this company first started, she was there to make sure everything went as smooth as possible. And then she let me take over the company, and that's how I got to this position. Yet you've been calling my mom a parasite this whole time.
Wait a second. What's going on here? What do you mean Paisley helped create that company with you? Huh? I thought that company was your father's creation, right? And you took it over after he passed away, right? All Paisley was a simple housewife to you guys, right?
The one who started this company from the ground up with my mom. In the past, my mom was the kind of person who enjoyed working as her hobby.
Are you kidding me?
And then after getting the company up and running, she finally married my dad. She was already pregnant with me at the time, and when she had to give birth to me, she let my dad take the company over. She told him that she wanted to focus on raising me, so she asked him to take the reins from her.
What?
But then my dad ended up passing away at the age of 50. By then, I was old enough to do my own thing as an adult, and instead of taking the company back, she let me have it. And she didn't want to be the CEO, so she made me that, and has just been sitting and helping from behind the scenes. The reason I have this company and am the CEO was all because of my mom.
No way!
And as the founder of this company, my mom has always held at least 40% of the stocks. And right now, she has close to 60% and is considered the company's biggest shareholder now. My mom could go on all those expensive vacations by herself if she really wanted to. There's no reason for her to be using me for my money when she has more than me to begin with. Yet now you're telling her we're cutting ties all because you think she's a parasite. You have no damn right that to your husband's mother.
But I thought... I didn't know.
I get that I'm closely attached to my mom. But what's wrong with that, huh? What's wrong with me caring about the woman who raised me and gave me my purpose and wanting to pay her back for all of that? As a person, as the company's founder, I respect my mom. Every time I spend time with her, I'm learning something new. That's why I'm always wanting to spend time going out with her. Tell me what's so wrong about that? She has been worried about you and I being married, all while she still thinks about my work and gives me advice in order to do my job right. What is wrong with me respecting her and treating her when she's been so caring towards me? If you are so upset with me giving her all the attention, then why don't you start trying to be a decent woman?
Me?
The only thing that's ever come out of your mouth since we got married is how much of my money you want to spend. And whether I want to talk about work and such, you ignore me saying you have no clue. And when I try to surprise you with flowers, you toss them in the garbage and moan about them. What about the way you behave makes you think that I want to treat you as someone special?
But look, I am your wife, right? Yet you've always been treating your mom with a lot more care than your own wife.
And I just told you why that is. It's because my mom acts more like a wife than you do. And because of that, I don't need you to be my wife anymore. Would you please leave me now?
What? What are you saying, Ian? We only just had our wedding and all of that.
Before I really did like you. But the way you've changed after we got married is far from what I expected. All you seem to care about is the fact that you're the wife of a CEO now. And that's just so boring and shallow to me. I don't care that we just had a wedding. I want the divorce now.
You can't be serious, right?
I'm going home with my mom and I'll be staying with her now. The next time you and I talk will be when I have the divorce papers. And let me tell you this right now. Nothing is going to change my mind about this.
Please, Paisley, do something to get your son to stop thinking about getting this divorce. Do something to stop him right now.
My son has had enough of you, Belle, and won't change his mind anymore. And guess who he reminds me of when he says that?
No way.
I think you both getting a divorce will be a great thing. Then you won't have to take care of me in my old age, right? I was never going to ask you to do that since I have enough money to put me into a home, but you know.
That's not at all what I want now, though. We only just got married not too long ago and just had the wedding. We literally just had our wedding, and I had finally become the wife of a CEO.
Belle, I think you're mistaken. When you become the wife of a CEO, you don't get to just run around spending all of his money. You get a job of your own then, and that's supporting his work and making sure he's in shape so that he can care for his company. But since you were not able to do that for him, you cannot be the wife of a CEO.
I was going to support him from here on out, though. And from here on out, if you ever need my help, I'll be there to watch over you. I won't even call you a parasite anymore, okay? You and I can become a really close mother and daughter couple. So please, Paisley, do something about Ian.
Oh jeez. But the thing is, most normal parents would never get in between their child and their significant other during times like this. So I'm very sorry, but I'm not going to do anything. I can't.
What?
I am a very caring woman and would love to do something for you both. But you warned me before, right? Normal mothers will create some distance between themselves and you guys after you get married, right? So, I'm so sorry. You'll have to do something yourself now. I'm not going to open my mouth about your issues and will not be helping. Goodbye now.
Oh, wait. You're really going to just abandon me like this? If you do that to me, I'm going to tell everyone about it. Because of my mother-in-law always bullying me, we had to get a divorce.
What was that?
You think that's going to turn out well for a company founder? Surely, when that story starts to spread, the company's image will be ruined. The stock prices for that company will plummet, and there will be no more customers for your son. I'm going to make sure that everyone knows I was harassed by you when I married Ian.
Why would you start sending me texts like that, Belle?
That would ruin you, wouldn't it? If you don't want to have your life ended by me, you go and do something about your son right now. Mother-in-laws only exist to listen to what their son's wife has to say.
Threatening my mom over text, where she can use all the things you said as evidence later, is a really risky move.
What? Is that you again, Ian?
Did you really want things to be hell for you after the divorce?
No, I don't. I want to make up with you and end this divorce.
No. You just said you want to ruin my company's image as well as my mom's. Then go ahead. But that would not stop me from getting this divorce I've been wanting. And after the divorce, you'd be going to court to be sued by my mom and I for trying to defame us in our company.
What? You'd sue me?
Go ahead and lie about what's happened, because we have evidence right here. And if you want me to take things one step further, let me pull the transaction history from all my credit cards you used before we even got married. I have the evidence I need to prove that you only married me for my money and nothing else. Once I get one of the company's lawyers to help me with this, I'll make sure you have to pay me in this divorce. You think you can fight a CEO like me? Then come and try your best move on me.
Calm down, Ian. I was just joking about all of that.
Well, it was a very lame joke that nobody, not even yourself, laughed. I'm tired of your crap. Now sign the damn papers. If you ever try to get my mom wrapped up in your BS again, I'm going to make sure you never have a future.
Right after that, the divorce between Belle and my son was completed. And after that, both of Belle's parents came to me to tell me how sorry they were for their mentally troubled daughter. And at that time, her parents made sure to bring Belle along. And she began to break down, watching both her parents at my feet, begging for forgiveness. I like to think that she finally realized just how much her idiotic and selfish actions hurt everyone. And she was crying that whole time until her parents finally left. After they got back to the house, Belle's father did not let her into the house with them, and told her she was no longer a part of the family, and she was an embarrassment that almost ruined everything. Now she is out looking for a job with all of her energy, while crashing over at one of her best friend's house. Sometimes she will still call or text my son, asking him to get back together with her because she learned her lesson. But he would only reply by telling her that of course she's learned her lesson, but that does not mean she's meant to be the wife of a CEO. But now he just ignores all her calls and texts, as she doesn't even seem to understand what the simple comment means.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Marina, I've done it. I was just proposed to by my boyfriend. Really? You really have gone and done it then, Kiara. And you told him that you'd love to marry him, right? Well, of course I did. Mac is making bank right now as a doctor after all. Him proposing me after being together for so long is not something I could ever say no to. Well, congratulations then, Kiara. As your older sister, I'm very happy for you. Seeing someone who used to be so small getting married soon really does make me emotional. I'm almost at the point of crying now from thinking about so much. It's too early to be crying about this. He only just proposed to me and we still haven't gotten around to handing in any of the marriage documents yet. I guess that's true. So, if you guys are engaged now, that means what comes next is everyone talking about the wedding, right? You can bring him over anytime to talk about with me. Well, about that, actually. I actually happen to have some pretty important stuff to talk to you about. Oh? What kind of stuff is that then? When it's been confirmed that him and I are married, can we cut ties to one another? I don't really want you around me anymore after that. What was that? No plans of showing Mac to you either, actually. Well, I've actually planned all of this out now and haven't even told him a thing about you yet, which is kind of why I can't have you coming out of thin air now to meet him. Wait a second. Not only do you want to cut ties to me, but you also haven't told him anything about me existing yet either? Why? Our parents passed away a long time ago, and since then it's just been you and I being the only two members of the family left, right? That's a good point. To me, you're like my third parent, right? In place of mom and dad, you have always been there this whole time raising and supporting me. And you were so close to graduating from high school, but you dropped out anyway to start making all that money to support me. You were 18 years old at the time, and already having to taste the world for what it is. For my sake, you threw your own life away. I had to do what was necessary for my very important sister. I feel that I did a good job raising you, and I have no regrets about what I've done. You always love being such a hypocrite. After all the trouble you've caused me, you sit there not regretting 1 second of it. Your sly attitude really does make me chuckle a bit. What? Did you really think that this whole time I've been thankful for what you've done for me? I'm sorry, but I feel the exact opposite, actually. You ended up leaving school with no education at all and had to start working as a whore. You have been a complete embarrassment to me this whole time, and that's what made me hate you. Is that right? This whole time I've been dating Mac, I felt nothing but worry. I was thinking that if he found out my older sister who worked as a whore existed, he'd throw me away. I was worried that because of you, I'd never had a chance at marrying a super rich man. Literally, this whole time I've been on edge thinking about all of that. And that is why, after I'm wed, you and I are done. Once I am married to a doctor, you being part of my past is a complete pain for me that will weigh me down. You really don't need to talk about me like that. I have been taking my life very seriously and have done everything I could working for our sakes, also that I could raise and support you. Yet you calling me an embarrassment now? All so that you could raise and support me? What is this all about? I never once asked you to do anything for me after mom and dad passed away. What? You choosing to raise me and sell your body like that were both choices you decided to make. So stop acting like I have to repay you for any of those shallow and unwanted favors. I literally don't have any appreciation towards you and all that you've done. I'm not asking you to thank me for any of it. But hearing that you really don't appreciate a single thing of what I've done does shock me a little. I get having a bias against working in a red light district, and I really feel bad for having to do that to get by. But Kiara, do you really want to cut ties to me after you're married? I have no problem at all with saying goodbye to you forever, and the only option I see is cutting you out of my life. I feel that there is a high chance that both my man and his parents are against selling one's body like that to the public. And when it comes to the world at night, there's all kinds of trouble going on. I don't even want to think about what would happen if that trouble were to catch up to you, and you got all of us wrapped up in it. That is why I'm cutting ties to you, is both the cleanest way of doing this and the easiest. But this year is my last year of doing things like that. I have a lot of money saved up now, and I'm planning to open up a business of my own. I know what I'll be able to do to make this place a hit, so wouldn't me being a business owner be alright with you? You said you'd open a pub or something, but you're going to be opening it in a red light district, right? That means you'll be working in the exact same place serving the exact same dirty men. And I'm guessing the only way you're going to get any customers is by working behind a counter with your top off, right? Well, I guess in terms of the location I've chosen, a lot of customers will be men. Then that really means the only choice I have is to cut ties to you. The person you are as a whole is embarrassing to me, so I have to. And if my doctor of a fiancé was to find out that you are a whore, everything would be over for me. Okay then, goodbye forever. And don't you ever act like a member of my family again. I'm going to delete your contact as well, okay?
Excuse me, Marina. I'm sorry for trying to talk with you on your day off, but could you please hurry and come to the pub right now? The police are here, and it's become a huge mess.
Did you say the police are there? What the heck has been going on over there that the police had to come and get involved in?
There's this customer in the place that started to go crazy, and they started to cause so much trouble that the police had to come and get involved. Because of them, a lot of the windows in the pub are shattered.
So they've gone and completely torn up my pub is what you're saying.
I'm so sorry. I take full blame for this one. I was the one that made that customer upset, so please make me responsible for all of this after we get it cleaned up.
Do you mean you were the one that made them upset? I just climbed into a taxi and I'm coming over there now, but I need you to start explaining all of what's happened to me right now.
The customer came in with a girl from another place close by to here. I'm pretty sure they just finished having sex and all. That man looked pretty off to me, as well as the girl. And, well, that girl started to ask me in a very rude manner about some private information, like for people's contact information and such. She also started to invite me out to go have fun with her. And, well, things started to then really hot between those two once the man came up to the counter, and they started fighting. I then went and tried to break things up, or at least get them to leave the store.
And that's what got them upset with you?
Correct. The man was very drunk coming in, and couldn't seem to stand up straight on his own. And not only did he start to get physical with me, but he was getting physical with the girl as well. I tried to push him out the doors with the girl, but he took another swing at me, missing my head and smashing the door. And then he just became even more angry and started destroying all the windows.
I see. I guess that was enough to where the police had to get involved.
I am so very sorry about this. I should have tried something less aggressive in order to make them leave. And now I'm having to ask you to come in on your weekend off. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it, Alex. This is my job as the owner, and I don't mind it at all. And to me, I think you handled everything the best you could with those two. Had you just let those two continue fighting like they were, then they would have only been more trouble down the line for them and the rest of the pub. I think you did a very good thing today by trying to break things up.
Marina!
Also, I've recently had a lot going in my personal life, so it's kind of nice to be called into work during the weekend to get away from things at home. Now, it shouldn't be more than 10 more minutes until I arrive, so just go settle down and wait for me. Marina! Let me borrow some of your money right now. You told me that your pub was going to be doing great, which means you have to have some money right now, right? You should be able to lend me a couple thousand right now, right? A couple thousand? What is going on with you right now? Didn't you end up deleting my contact info after you told me that we were cutting ties to one another? Right now is not the time for that. Right now, my fiancé Mac, he's in real need of some money to pay off and out for some court settlement. He got into a lot of trouble with the police as well, and things have been really rough for him. What did he end up doing that to get the police involved? I assume that him being a doctor meant he would never do anything to jeopardize his career, right? He didn't do anything wrong, though. This is all that whore's fault. What? This is literally the worst thing that could have happened. I had finally cut ties to a whore like yourself for good, yet having to speak to you again now over something as terrible as this is making me want to cry. What the hell happened? Can you give me a bit of a better explanation for what happened than that? Mac, alright, he went to a nightclub with some people as part of his job. And, well, there was this one whore that kept coming up to him over and over again for his contact info and asking him to go out for a night of fun with him. She heard about him being a doctor and was trying to turn him into an ADM, I'm sure. Her asking him to go out with her for the night is a part of the nightlife. Her job is to sell her body to men on streets and in clubs, so it makes sense to me. But when he left that club with the others, she continued to follow him, asking over and over again. And he said that she took him away from the rest of the group he was from work, and they had to go sit inside of this pub. He then told me that he got upset with her and that he had a bad fall that ended up breaking some windows and the glass doors there. Yet, instead of being helped up, the bartender went over telling both of him and the whore to get out before making things even a bigger deal. And then the police were called on him and everything went downhill. And then that whore told him that he had to pay her a settlement for what he done. What? Seriously, all those whores and strippers are the worst. For being such a brain-dead idiot, they are really stubborn when it comes to asking for money. And that one could tell Mac was a doctor and latched onto him without ever wanting to let go. She was the one that wouldn't leave him alone, and now he's being blamed for what she caused? You're kidding me. That customer was your fiancé of all people? What? That customer? Do you know something about what happened? The pub that your fiancé went and wrecked just so happened to be my pub. Are you kidding me? So then you should have the evidence we need to prove he's innocent, right? Go and have a look at your pub security cameras for me. I need you to go to the police and show them what he was doing was nothing wrong. There are a few cameras around the pub, but that's a bit. Huh? What kind of reaction is that? Are you going to tell me you're not helping me out here? Your little sister's fiancé was just framed as the bad guy and is now going to have to settle out of court over it. So you're not helping me because I cut ties with you? Why are you such a narrow-minded woman? That's not my reasoning for not helping out. I have no choice then, do I? I have to do this for the sake of helping my man. I'm going to be nice this time and take back what I said about wanting to cut ties to you, Marina. What? Are you sure? But I won't be inviting you to my wedding, and I won't ever let you come around my fiancé or his family. I can't tell him that I've actually had an older sister this whole time. But I'll be fine with secretly going out to see you in person every so often. In other words, you'll finally be able to come out and see your sister who had cut ties to you before again. That should be enough to make you happy, right? Just like you were saying before, I really am an embarrassment to you. Huh? Why are you stating the obvious right now? Just shut up and hurry up with those videotapes. I need you to help me prove my fiancé's innocence by bringing them to the police. The only evidence I have is of him being the guilty party in said chaos. What? I can show you what was all recorded inside my pub, but the only footage that was ever taken of them was of your fiancé coming into the store with the poor girl and hitting her while also breaking all my windows. Seems he was done having sex with her and came there looking for some more to drink. But that girl he was with was still in the mindset of doing her job and went up one of my employees asking him to go out with her sometime. And that started to really piss him off. So when my bartender went over to give him a warning about how loud the both of them were being, he blew up. If that's the kind of evidence you're wanting to see of your man, I can show you and the police it any time. What are you going on about? That is completely different from what my fiancé told me. I'm just telling you what I'd seen on the security cameras in my pub. He might have just been telling you a lie to make himself look like the victim, but what I saw was him being anything but that. And after I had a talk with one of the few business owners in the area after that mess, they told me about how famous of a man he is. They call him Dr. Dirty, as he not only gets himself blackout drunk all the time, but he loves to make love to all kinds of whores out on the streets. You're wrong! You're completely wrong. My fiancé would never be doing any of those things. Mac is the type who hates all of those things, like whores and drinking. All that happened to him being taken advantage of and being framed, and by that freaking whore. Let me ask you something. Why would a doctor be going to a nightclub as part of his job? It's not like he has any customers he's supposed to be entertaining, right? He's not the owner of a hospital or a clinic, so he's not going out to do business either. As far, he's too young for that. So don't tell me that you actually believe that your fiancé, who's a doctor, is going out at night to do business. Then, if he really did go out all by himself to be at that club and with a whore, there's no way he was having sex with her or getting blackout drunk. He's engaged to me right now, and something like that would be unfaithful of him. If anything, that whore was the one that forced him to get so drunk that he couldn't even understand what was right and wrong and forced herself back onto him. That has to be it. That's why she's the criminal here. From what everyone was telling me, your fiancé had been drinking way too much and was blowing numbers the police had never been seen before. If you'd like, I can go and have a word with the owner of the club he was at that night. After all, it's the same club I had been working up until recently. What? And thankfully, that woman he was with, the whore, also happens to be a friend of mine I made while working there. Actually, she's one of the girls I trained back in the day. And I was only the one that taught her the rights and wrongs of the job, and that she could never force herself onto anyone. So there is no way she was the one that forced him to drink all of that alcohol before taking him out to have sex.
What? You know people like that as well?
I worked for that place after all, so of course I'm going to know her. She's like a friend of mine now. And to me, she was the cutest girl I've ever seen in my life back when I had to train her and everything. She was way cuter than my own little sister, and that's why to this day, her and I are like family. Actually, she's like you, without the really crappy attitude.
What?
Now, having to hear that a total drunk like your fiancé may have forced himself onto her, as well as hit her afterwards at my pub? Kiara, your fiancé is a total piece of crap if I'm to be honest. The kind of man that doesn't know how to handle his alcohol, and is willing to cheat on his own fiancé with whores at a nightclub.
You're wrong. Mac is not that kind of person. He was way too nice and is a very successful doctor. And both of his parents are very serious people, making them a very powerful family. He told me he hates women like that who are only out looking for sex. There's no way a man like him could be out going to those places at night.
Then, would you like to have a talk with my friend from the club about that? She can tell you what kind of man your fiancé really is.
What?
I just got another couple of texts from her a second ago. And just like she was saying before, he really is a terrible man. He always seems to be getting himself drunk off the cheapest drinks and will then go around flirting with all kinds of women.
No way.
But the fact that he's a doctor does allow him to pay those kinds of that he plays around with handsomely. My friend told me that at times he'll order her a $2,000 of champagne, and when he's feeling a bit too lucky.
$2,000 bottle of champagne? He's spending that kind of money on alcohol for other women besides me?
And it sounds like he's going out to those places at least 2 to 3 times a week. So he has to be spending close to $5,000 a week then. And last month, it was my friend's birthday. And at her party, he came and spent close to $10,000 on all the women there.
10,000? You're lying, right? He's spending that kind of money on a whore like here?
From everything she's told me about him so far, he seems to really like her. After all that time spending such money on her, he'd finally had enough of her just being a whore at that nightclub and wanted to make her something more to him. And that's why he chased her all the way over to my pub and became jealous when she started to talk with other men. But she wasn't going to work with him anymore when he began acting out like that and had to say no to all of his advances. That then led him to throwing a huge fit over it, which led to the inside of my store becoming one massive mess.
What the hell? That is all the complete opposite of what Mac has been telling me. What's really the truth here? I should be able to believe him, right?
I don't care who you can trust. Go ahead and keep on believing what he has to say.
What?
And of course, I'm going to believe who I want to in this mess. And since I have clear as day evidence proving that your fiancé came and ruined my store while also hurting my friend, I'm also going to take action against him now. In other words, I'm going to make sure he's punished for his actions.
What do you mean by that? No way. Are you really going to ask that he pay you out of court as well too?
Considering I don't have any parents around and my only piece of family I had left abandoned me and left me by myself, the pub where I put all my money into is the last thing I have. And that friend of mine who I once worked with is like family to me. In order to protect both of them, I have to do what I must. I'm not holding back, so you go and tell your fiancé to prepare himself for what comes next.
Marina, I just got a message from that problem customer that came in a couple of days ago. He said he'll pay the out-of-court settlement as long as we don't take any further actions against him. And it sounds like he's willing to pay us close to $30,000 for the damages.
Well, that's a lot more than I was asking him before.
I'm sure he wants to sweep all of this under the rug as soon as possible. Paying $30,000 for some damages to the store like broken windows and a broken door is quite a lot.
In recent times, doctors had to rely on their image more than their skills when it comes to their career. And I'm sure he doesn't want to be known by everyone for being a reckless man that goes out at night to sleep with whores and wreck businesses.
So, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop taking any further action against him?
Well, if he's going to be paying that much, I suppose I can stop. Having to carry this out more than this is a pain in the behind for me as well. So please, tell him we'll be taking the money and we won't be doing anything else. And when this is all said and done, expect to get a bonus from a part of that money.
Hell yeah! Thank you so freaking much, Marina. I'm going to get back to him right now about what you've agreed to.
You're so mean, Marina! Stealing $30,000 from my fiancé like that? Who the hell ever said I stole that from him? He was the one saying that he wanted to pay us that much for the damages, so I didn't do anything mean. But couldn't you have said no to his offer? You already know that he's my fiancé after all. You could have told him that him offering that much was more than enough and turned the money down. Yet instead, you just went and took that $30,000 from him. If he's really learned his lesson, then that $30,000 proves it. If he really felt bad for what he'd done, he should be giving me a lot more money for the troubles he'd caused. That's the kind of world us business people live in, Kiara. But because of that, I'm no longer going to have a wedding with him. Are you saying that you're fine with your cute little sister not being able to wear a wedding dress as she gets married? What? Mac told me that he no longer wants to have a wedding. Having all lost that money, he's no longer in the mood to celebrate us. So, he said that going to the courthouse and handing in the papers is more than enough for him. Well, that must mean he lost all of his savings after paying up. And what's even worse is recently he's been so cold to me. Ever since the police had gotten involved, he's been taking out all his frustrations out on me. The kind of Mac I knew is gone now. He's been drinking a ton more at home now, and he'll go on these drunk rampages hurting me. In other words, what's going on here is that he's showing you the true him before you guys have ever had to tie the knot. As a couple, you both have to be completely honest with one another, and him showing you the real Mac is a part of it. I never wanted to see him like this, though. Also today, after he'd gotten out of work, he went straight back to the red light district. I made him a really good dinner and all today waiting for him to come home as well. But he just texted me not too long ago that saying he was going to find some girls to relieve some stress with, so he doesn't need any dinner tonight. What? After all that happened, he's still going out and trouble everyone? He really is a pile of crap then. I don't want to be engaged to him anymore. I can't be married to a man like him. I want to go back to living with you again. Stop acting like that's ever going to happen. Wasn't it you that abandoned me not too long ago? You and I are no longer sisters nor family now. You are a complete random stranger now, so don't come crying to me. No way. Your only sister is crying her eyes out right now begging for help. Yet you're going to throw me away now? You don't regret wanting to do that to me? Not one bit. I have never, ever regretted any of the choices I've made up until now, and I'm not going to start regretting any of them today. What? The same thing applies to when you told me you wanted me out of your life, and I wanted to do that as you wanted, and leave you behind like you were never part of my life. Which is why I don't regret this one bit. And no matter what you try to say to me, I'm not going to go back to being part of your family ever again. No way. Now you have a good one, all right. Let's both do our best to live lives we won't ever have to regret. After that, Kiara never went and left her fiancé, and soon after he went and handed in their marriage papers to the courthouse. From there, they never had a wedding and never went on a honeymoon. As Mac told her, they needed to save all that money back up, and so they were forced to move in back with his parents. But that never stopped him from continuing to go out all of those nightclubs and pubs, while both of his parents told Kiara that as his wife, she had to continue supporting him as she had no other choice. And then proceeded to tell her that the next time he got into any trouble, it would be her fault and her mess to clean up for him. Sounds like recently those two get into fights all the time, whether that be at home or at Mac's hospital. And that led to their images slowly going sour in the rest of the community's eyes, as more and more people lose respect for them and walk away.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Sarah, how are things? I've been really worried about you. What do you mean? Haven't you heard about the layoffs at James's company? What about them? Are you doing okay, Sarah? Didn't your husband Alex get laid off? What? Alex? I heard they're cutting a lot of people loose. Alex hasn't mentioned anything like that. Haven't you heard anything from him yet? Well, I guess that makes sense. Getting fired is pretty humiliating, so he probably can't bring himself to tell his wife. Alex tells me everything about work. He's fine. Are you sure? Because I heard from James that there were major cuts coming. Look, could you stop talking as if my husband has already been fired? I've heard about the company's situation from Alex. Yes, there were some layoffs, but Alex isn't one of them. Really? I thought he'd be the first to go. Excuse me? Just being honest here. Why would you think that? Well, isn't he just getting in the way? I mean, he's working at his brother-in-law's company, your brother's company. As CEO, James must feel awkward having him around. He's basically the biggest burden in the company, right? Alex works hard and is well respected by his colleagues. But come on, everyone knows he only got the job because of family connections. That's not true at all. Or maybe it's just favoritism? I mean, Alex is technically family to James, so maybe he's keeping him on despite his incompetence. Oh my, Emma, do you really think that? If so, you're surprisingly clueless. What did you say? How dare you call me clueless? You're James's wife, but you don't understand his personality at all, do you? I understand my husband perfectly well. Really? Then you'd know he'd never keep someone just because they're family. Excuse me? My brother has always been level-headed and efficiency-driven. If I'm going to be blunt, he thinks being considerate of others is a waste of resources. You don't know anything about how James runs his company. Someone like James would never show favoritism, even to his brother-in-law. It's amazing how little you know him, considering you're his wife. You're crossing a line here. Don't forget your place. My place? What's with that attitude? Watch what you say. I'm James's wife, which means I'm the CEO's wife at your husband's workplace. Yes, but before that, you're my brother's wife. Just another in-law. Just another in-law? I can't believe you'd say that to me. It's just the truth. Before any of that, I'm the CEO's wife. I outrank all of you. Don't get cocky, you lower-ranking sister and her husband. Lower ranking? Really? What time period did you pop out from? Yes, lower ranking. You and Alex are at the bottom of the family hierarchy. You should be grateful James even gave Alex a job. Alex earned his position through his own merit. Keep telling yourself that, but we both know the truth. And what truth is that? That without James's charity, your husband would be nowhere.
You really don't know anything about how the company actually works, do you?
I know everything. I'm the CEO's wife.
Being married to James doesn't make you an expert on his business.
How dare you? You'll regret talking to me like this.
I'm just being honest, like you said earlier.
Well, we'll see who's right when the next round of layoffs comes.
Is that a threat?
Just stating facts. Better tell Alex to update his resume.
Sarah, you won't believe the news!
What is it?
Guess what? I might get a whole month of paid vacation! Should we go on an overseas trip, or is there anything you wanted to do?
Really? They're giving you that much time off?
It's incredible, right?
Yeah, that's a huge amount of vacation time.
Well, the company's doing great, and they're really good about giving back to the employees. It's not just me. All employees get similar amounts of vacation time.
That's amazing.
And there's more. They're introducing flexible hours, too.
James is really changing things up, huh?
They keep improving our benefits. The work is enjoyable. It's really the perfect company. I can't thank James enough.
As James's sister, I'm really proud of him for making his employees so happy.
You know, I was nervous at first about working for family.
I remember you were hesitant to apply for the position.
Yeah, but I'm glad I went for it. When my previous company went bankrupt and I had to quickly find a new job, I was surprised to end up at my brother-in-law's company, but now I'm really glad I'm working here.
I'm happy you feel that way, but is everything really okay? You're not just being nice because it's my brother's company, are you?
Not at all. If anything, James is the one being considerate of me.
What? James is?
He actually goes out of his way to treat me like any other employee.
That sounds like him.
But the other employees say he's become more approachable lately. Everyone at the office praised how he handled the recent layoffs. He only let go of problematic employees, even if they had good performance numbers. They say it's hard to believe this is the same CEO who used to only care about performance metrics.
That's really impressive. He used to be so cold and efficiency focused.
The whole office culture has changed.
In what way?
People actually enjoy coming to work now.
Wow, I hate to say this about my own brother, but that doesn't sound like the James I grew up with.
James' reputation in the industry is skyrocketing. He keeps making the workplace better and better.
I can't believe James has changed so much. I was surprised enough when he got married at all, given his personality.
About that.
What is it?
Well, to be honest, I don't think his wife is all that great. Emma's actually got a pretty bad reputation at the office.
Really? Is that so?
She came by again today.
What did she do this time?
She's kind of difficult to deal with. She'll suddenly show up at the office and play CEO's wife, demanding everyone treat her like royalty. If we don't act super enthusiastic around her, she starts yelling.
What? Emma's been doing that?
It's getting worse lately.
How so?
Yeah, and her favorite thread is, "I'll tell my husband about this," so everyone's forced to play along with her CEO's wife act. Then we all end up working overtime because we fell behind on work. And this is happening right when James is trying to implement a zero overtime policy.
I can imagine. She's always been obsessed with being the CEO's wife.
Today she demanded we rearrange the entire break room.
For what reason?
She said it wasn't befitting of an executive's company.
That's ridiculous.
James is usually out of the office at business meetings, so she does whatever she wants. None of us, including me, have the courage to tell him about it. Do you think you could maybe casually mention something to James?
I'd like to help, but if I get involved, it might make things more complicated.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. You're probably right.
She'd just make things worse for you at work.
That's true. You and Emma really don't get along, do you?
She's the one who looks down on me for no reason. How can I get along with someone who makes me so angry?
She just texted you earlier, didn't she?
Yes, about you getting laid off, apparently.
What? But I just got promoted!
That's Emma for you.
Okay, let's drop this topic for now. There's nothing we can do about it ourselves. Let's focus on planning our vacation instead.
You're right. That's a better idea. I'll start making a list of places we want to visit.
I was thinking France?
That would be perfect.
Sarah, where is Alex? Answer me!
What's going on?
It's none of your business. Answer my question. Where's your husband right now? Tell him to come to the office immediately.
What? Alex is on his long vacation right now. We're about to leave for France.
Cancel it, now! This is an emergency!
We're literally at the airport.
Well, cancel that trip. He needs to come to the office right now!
Excuse me?
Don't you understand? This is urgent!
What could be so urgent?
I, the CEO's wife, am calling him in. Your husband is our employee, my subordinate. Get him to the office now.
Don't be ridiculous. Yes, Alex is an employee, but he's not your subordinate. Being the CEO's wife doesn't make you an executive. You have no authority here.
How dare you! This is a crisis!
What kind of crisis?
Shut up! We're having a system crisis at the office. That's why I'm personally gathering employees.
A system crisis?
Yes, everything is down.
Shouldn't IT handle that?
Since James is always busy and rarely in the office, I regularly patrol the office in his place. During today's patrol, I noticed that we had a system failure. They're saying it'll take a long time to fix.
Even so, the employees who are currently working can handle it. There's no need to call in someone who's on vacation.
The current staff isn't enough. We need everyone.
There must be protocols for this.
You don't understand. The working employees all have their own tasks. If they deal with the crisis, they'll fall behind on their work. That means overtime. As the CEO's wife, I have to prevent that.
What?
This is for the company's benefit.
By ruining Alex's vacation?
I heard that James has been working hard lately to eliminate overtime. I want to help with that.
So, you're saying my husband should be the sacrifice? Alex is an employee too, but you want him to sacrifice his vacation so other employees don't have to work overtime?
Exactly! Family employees are the most convenient pawns to use.
What?
He should be grateful to help. This is his chance to prove his worth.
He proves his worth every day at work. Why should he have to prove anything to you?
But he can't refuse anyway, right? So understand the situation and cancel your trip so that he can come to the office. Fix this system problem, and then I'll be the amazing CEO's wife who solved the crisis. The employees and James might even praise me.
Sorry, but my husband's not going to the office. We're flying to France and enjoying our vacation.
You can't be serious! Do you know who you're refusing?
Yes, I do.
What? Are you actually planning to refuse my request?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm planning.
Nobody refuses me. Nobody! You'll regret this.
Is that so?
How dare you! This is an order from the CEO's wife. I'm ordering your husband as his employer's wife. If you both disobey me, you'll face the consequences.
Consequences? Like what exactly?
Obviously getting fired. Fired! One word from me to James and it's done. I can make your husband unemployed with just one command.
Oh my, that would be troublesome. The CEO's wife position must be quite powerful.
Finally, you understand. That's right. My position is powerful. So understand your place and obey me. Are you okay with your husband getting fired? You're about to learn just how scary a CEO's wife can be. Now cancel that flight.
No.
What?
Haven't you seen the news yet?
What news? Stop changing the subject.
You really should check it.
Huh?
I understand how terrifying the CEO's wife position is, but that title of yours is about to end today. Actually, I don't think you should be here threatening us right now.
What do you mean it's ending today? And what news?
My brother James is on TV right now. He's announcing his divorce from you.
What? No, you're lying.
It's all over the news.
What? James is divorcing me and announcing it on TV? Why would he do that?
Yes, it's playing on the airport TV right now. There's a huge scandal about a young entrepreneur and a current idol's love affair. I never thought I'd see my brother on TV like this.
Wait, what are you saying? This can't be real.
Want me to send you the link?
Wait a minute. This young entrepreneur you're talking about is James. But James is my husband. And you're saying he's in a love affair scandal with an idol?
Entrepreneurs and idols are a pretty common combination these days. But this case is causing quite a stir because the entrepreneur is married. They even have footage of them leaving a hotel after being confronted by reporters.
What? They were caught leaving a hotel? This must be fake news.
The footage is quite clear.
James wouldn't. He couldn't.
And here's the interesting part. Instead of running from the reporters, he faced them head on. He even declared, "I plan to divorce my wife. I'll pay her appropriate compensation, but afterwards, I'm going to marry this woman, the one that's meant for me. I'm seriously in love with her."
What did you say? He said that on camera?
The clip is trending. I'm wondering if this is really my cold, calculated brother. He looks identical, but he seems like a completely different person.
Wait, hold on. What does this all mean? James was having an affair? And he's serious about his affair partner?
Looks like you're about to be dumped. Then you'll be just an ex-wife, not a CEO's wife anymore. No more ordering people around.
This can't be happening. Not to me.
Just leave the system recovery to the actual employees. You can only play CEO's wife anyway. There's nothing you can actually do. Instead, maybe you should focus on recovering your marriage.
Sarah, please.
Yes?
What should I do, Sarah? James said he wants a divorce. He handed me divorce papers. He said his feelings are exactly what I saw on TV.
Oh, so it's finally happening.
You have to help me.
Why would I do that?
This is terrible. This betrayal, this affair. It's a sin.
You're right about that. No matter what the circumstances or reasons, having an affair while married is absolutely wrong. But public opinion is completely on James and his new partner's side.
What? How is that possible?
Have you checked social media?
No, I've been so lifeless since getting the divorce papers that I haven't even checked social media.
Then you should check quickly. The majority of people are actually supporting James.
What? But I'm the victim here.
The comments say otherwise.
Show me some of them.
They're saying things like, he's admirable for being so honest about it, and if he's taking proper responsibility, maybe the affair isn't so bad.
That's ridiculous! Taking responsibility just means paying money. My broken heart won't heal with that. Supporting a cheating man. What is this world coming to?
There's more.
More?
Various things are being linked to the affair story, like how you've been harassing employees at the company, or how you basically forced him into marriage in the first place.
Who's spreading these lies?
Are these leaks true? That you told James you were pregnant to force him into marriage, then right after the wedding claimed you had a miscarriage? But it was all lies to get married to a CEO? The tabloids are citing information from the CEO's wife's best friend.
No way. That must be Amy. She leaked my information. How could she betray me like this?
So it is true. The family was in an uproar when my brother, who never showed any interest in marriage, suddenly got married. I've always wondered about what led to the marriage. Now I know.
Well, I was desperate.
The internet is going crazy over this tabloid article. They're saying no wonder he fell out of love with such a horrible wife, and his affair partner must have been his emotional support. Come to think of it, I heard James's personality has softened lately. Though it's a pretty complicated situation, I wonder if that was his affair partner's influence.
What do I do? What do I do? Why are they all making me out to be the bad guy? I'm the victim. Shouldn't the cheating husband be the one getting bashed in situations like this?
I guess your daily behavior catches up with you at times like these.
What's that supposed to mean? You're making it sound like my everyday behavior was horrible.
Wasn't it absolutely horrible? If you can't realize that, you might actually be ill.
What? I was just acting like a proper CEO's wife.
By bullying employees?
I was maintaining standards.
Looking down on your in-laws daily, treating your sister-in-law's husband like a convenient pawn. All the evidence is right here in these text messages. Maybe I should sell these to the tabloids too. I could make some nice pocket money.
No, please stop. Please don't make things worse for me. I'm begging you.
Now you're begging? Then stop bothering us during our vacation. We're on a long-awaited break, and I don't have time to deal with you.
Sarah, are you back?
What do you want now?
Could you let me stay with you for a while? I heard you're coming back to the country today.
We are returning, but why our place?
I have nowhere else to go.
What happened?
Actually, I rushed to sign the divorce with James. He said he'd increase the settlement if I agreed to the divorce. But I was tricked. I only got about $300,000.
That still seems like a decent amount, though I guess it's not much for a CEO's wife.
It's nothing at all. Do you know what James is worth?
I have an idea.
It's ridiculously low. James has so many properties and luxury cars. If we split everything properly, I should have gotten at least $5 million.
Well, $300,000 does seem low compared to that.
The lawyers were so mean to me.
What did they say?
When I complained, this scary lawyer showed up and said, usually it's split equally, but it's different when one person is the main earner. He said this applies to company executives and professional athletes. Money earned through individual ability rather than a couple gets special treatment.
I've heard about that, but I've also heard it doesn't matter if you've properly supported your husband. Like if you cooked 3 meals a day and supported his life at home so he could focus on running the company. That gets taken into account.
That's the problem. I spent every day just having fun. I ate out for every meal, and I'm bad at housework, so I just hired a housekeeper. They said I didn't contribute to his success at all.
Well, the lawyer's right about that.
They said I should have only gotten $100,000, but they gave me $300,000 instead. Then they kicked me out. My parents won't even help me. When I tried going back to my parents' house, they yelled, "You've made us a laughing stock," and kicked me out too. I have nowhere to go.
Really? I see. Now I understand everything. But you can't stay at our place. Take your $300,000 and get a long-term hotel room.
What? But we're family.
Are we?
Please, I have nowhere else.
Oh, was I wrong to refuse? But you're not the CEO's wife anymore, so you can't threaten me with you'll face consequences anymore, can you?
Well, that's, I'm sorry about before.
After looking down on everyone and treating them like dirt, you really think you can just conveniently get help? Yes, I feel sorry for you, but that's it. I don't have even the slightest desire to help you.
But we were still sisters, even if only by marriage.
Yet, we were never close, were we? Because you always looked down on us. Well, I know things are tough, but good luck with everything. Shortly after, my brother James married the idol from the scandal. Of course, it caused another media frenzy, but surprisingly, his company's stock price skyrocketed. The company kept growing steadily, and my husband got an incredible bonus this year. He keeps saying, "Long live CEO James," with such joy, which makes me smile. As for Emma, she decided to become an idol herself, hoping to marry a young entrepreneur. She debuted under the stage name Greedy Ex-Wife. While she got some initial attention, she never gained any popularity. She even published an autobiography called How I Lost Everything, but it only sold 6 copies nationwide.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.